There was this big delay between the newspapers covering this story and the board coming out with either a statement or a response to the letter that we wrote. And it's been reported in the press that the reason for that delay was because there was a big dispute within the board about how to respond. There was, in some cases, people said chaos in the board. How true is that?
There was neither chaos nor that. The delay was, you wrote to me on the Tuesday, I replied to you on the Monday. That was the deadline you gave me. During that time, I wanted to investigate it, what went wrong, and get it right, and I needed to make sure the board were with me. And we discussed this. I don't think there was any chaos or difficulty there.
But I think, yes, if I could just add, because I was obviously part of some of those discussions, there was a continuing and sharp difference of opinion between certainly the chairman and me and some others on the board with the director of news about whether we were going to apologise just for the edit or whether the impact of the edit and indeed the positioning of the Proud Boys material had given a misleading impression. We felt that it had, and the news continued to maintain that actually the impression given despite the edit was correct, because the gist of the speech by Trump had, for example, the use of the word fight 15 times and only talked about peace once.
So Robbie, so you've clearly a man of very strong political convictions and have held multiple posts both at the BBC and then over at Number 10 for the last couple of decades. And how have you managed to keep these roles separate and managed your own bias?
So I was Director of Communications for the government for 2 years, but I was a BBC news producer for 25 years, including being a programme editor and head of BBC Westminster. So I have a long track record. I primarily want to be defined as my commitment to the BBC, not my 2 years working for Theresa May. When I first joined, I think I joined the BBC in 1991, it was drummed into me about impartiality, and it's one of those things, those early impressions have basically dominated my thinking, and it's why I wanted to stick with the BBC. You're told to leave your politics at the door, and impartiality isn't just a sort of a moral obligation, it's also a legal obligation. I'll tell you one thing that's really, really important. If you want to find the people that are most critical of journalism when it becomes biased or inaccurate, it's other BBC journalists, because their reputations are damaged by it. And I think there couldn't be a bigger mismatch between the way I'm presented in some quarters in relation to my attitude. I think I've become weaponised in terms of how I'm perceived.
It is unfair to say that Robbie comes with, he's principally a journalist. He was a journalist running the whole BBC's political journalism, and he did that with great skill and great commitment to impartiality. That's my view about it.
A lot of speculation in the media, including BBC journalists, who are saying that what's happened to the BBC over the last couple of weeks was a board-level orchestrated coup, if you like. Can you just address that for me now? Do you recognise that characteristic? Was there anything orchestrated about what's happened to the BBC over the last couple of weeks, the departure of Tim Davie, etc.?
It's up there as one of the most ridiculous charges. People had to find some angle. It's complete nonsense. It's also deeply offensive to fellow board members who are, as Samir was saying, are people of great standing in different fields. The idea that somehow I'm not even sure what the charge is, to be honest, and basically other than to say it's complete nonsense.
Alan?
Yes, I certainly wouldn't have characterised anything I saw in the last couple of weeks as being a board coup.
Or any kind of orchestrated board level?
No, endless debate.
Okay.
but no orchestrated.
It seems to me, along with the editorial and the governance, which are important issues which we'll unpack, I think there is an issue about how quickly we respond, the speed of our response. Why do we not do it quickly enough? Why do we take so much time? And this was another illustration of that. We should have, as a collective, we should have pursued it to the end and got to the bottom of it, and not wait, as we did, till it became public discourse. I think when we make a mistake, it's an important thing. We need to identify the problem and take the correct actions. It's not enough to say well, everything else is great. It's important we hold ourselves to high standards. But when we do make a mistake, what tends to happen, has happened over the years, is that people who want to have a go at the BBC use it to have a go at the BBC. And I said at the beginning here, I apologise for the people who care deeply for the BBC and want it to survive and thrive. And most people do. I do think that when these situations rise, there is a kind of firestorm around it, and people use it as a way of criticising the BBC for the mistake they made. We've always made mistakes, and when we do, the right thing to do is to own up to it, fix it, and to your point, act quickly. I think one of the things I'm going to learn from these 3 weeks is we do need to find out and examine why does it take so long. I don't think there's any malice here in taking long, and I don't think it is about a sclerotic organisation. But we do need to understand why it takes so long and try and fix that as well. It's important we do, because the longer it takes, the more it becomes a political football to be kicked around with.
In a world where business never stops, Mint keeps you ahead, any screen, anytime. From studios to the ground, Mint breaks down business, leadership and lifestyle, boldly, visually and smartly. From boardrooms to markets, from personal wealth to industry trends, we bring you the insights that matter.
Mint is doing brilliantly well. It's a well-read page, I would think.
What fuels India's biggest CEOs? Ride along and find out.
I have to work that much harder. I have to put that much more in.
Over the years.
Earlier I could say, no, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
But now I can.
Want to invest like the pros? Learn from India's stock market experts.
Things like that worry me about markets.
I don't want to buy a house to invest.
Your money, your future. We make finance simple. Step inside breathtaking homes and the creative minds behind them.
So we are at the house in Camellias. I think Camellias is the most expensive property in the NCR and probably the most expensive in the country.
India's real estate scene decoded. No jargon, no fluff.
Home buyers will have more bargaining power.
It's a great time to buy a house as well.
Some chase success, others create it. Meet the ones who made the impossible possible.
I don't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be an engineer, I don't want to be an accountant. And that's the most fragile thing. Poof, it'll go away.
वो ताली ऐसी थी ना, इतनी addictive थी, मैंने कहा बॉस अब तो यही होगा.
We don't just talk business, we show it, and the world's watching.